Welcome, everybody, to the Dune Over. We are on episode 11, and we are 2/3 of the way through the book. And I'm just going to say there is a disturbing lack of Irulan in this. And now, like, the reality of this book is creeping in that the movie is a fucking lie.
Yeah.
Even my
Keep it
cat's
together,
upset.
Dan. Keep it together.
He's down there meowing, going like, I need Irulan too.
I know that, as we've been talking about this book, I continually go back to Jodorowsky's Dune. And if we had this 14-hour acid-fueled Dune, we would have at least gotten an hour or two of Princess Irulan. I know it.
No, what we
And
got is more rugs. Like,
that's what I was going to say.
rugs.
Imagine the furnishings we would have had.
Yeah.
It would have been magical. Like, there would have been tie-dyed textiles. Like, the wall coverings would have been fucking glowing in the dark.
Yeah. Lamps that light dimensions we can't perceive as mere mortals.
Filing cabinets that file both time and space. That's how they fold it. That's how they fold the time and the space.
That's what the guild does. The guild hayliners are just filing cabinets.
Just filing cabinets.
We'll also imagine the computers they might have had, where they've been in like the Batcave computers from the 60s Batman, like just walls of these like.
Isn't computer a bad word? Isn't it like we should be bleeping you out?
They're not thinking computers. Hello, how are you doing, buddy?
Tuesday.
Yes, and weirdly, it is a Tuesday for us.
It is. I think that I enjoyed the extra day to read because I actually did my reading last night, so I felt extra prepared.
Sid and I talked about it this morning.
What a good girl. I did mine today.
Same here.
While I was waiting for an oil change, yeah.
The past couple of weeks, I feel like I attempt to do it the night before and then don't, like on Sunday night, I'm not going to do it. And then I end up doing it on my lunch break on Mondays. And then I'm like, I have an extra day. Let me just read it tonight. So I was a kind of good girl.
You're a very good girl.
Thank you.
Also, I got a Instagram message from a viewer that just seeing the little preview thing that popped up on my iPhone, I got real pissed real fast.
Wait, what?
So Carlito, who watches the show,
yeah,
he wrote a message, and the preview goes, "I'm happy that Dune got pushed back." And literally, I was like, "Motherfucker!" And then, like, after reading the whole message, he goes, "So when I'm on vacation in December, I could read the book." I was like, "Acceptable."
Fair,
okay,
fair and valid, and we're also glad.
You are human.
I feel like
animal.
That's the one silver lining of this is that. We've been able to read the entire book before the movie comes out again. And possibly, I think that we'd be able to get through Dune Messiah and Children of Dune.
The trilogy for sure.
By October, yeah.
By October, yeah.
Is I'm so sorry. I feel like I ask this every 2 weeks. Is October the new release date?
Yes. October, I think 12th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Just give it to me Halloween. Like, I'll come in a still suit because I might need one by that point.
Oh, imagine the Halloween possibilities.
I'm just going to put like a big gray comforter over me and be the God Emperor with my little head sticking out.
Perfect. I will be a corpse, so I'll just be one of your Duncans that you've already killed.
One of the many Duncans.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think who else is in that book. I'll just or I could be a Duncan, you could be Siona. I don't know.
Sure. Yeah, I'll be the coolest character in the whole series. I mean, if you insist.
Although Miles Tegg is actually kind of cool too.
Don't get me started. He's the real Kwisatz Haderach. Fuck this Paul bitch. Miles Tegg. That's who I'm reading for.
We will get to Paul in this because like this was his most insufferable fucking chapter.
Yes. Okay, so we're in book 3. Mm-hmm. We are very near the end of this book.
This is the Prophet.
Yes.
And if you had read Syd's Instagram story alluding to religion and politics, shit gets real.
It certainly is getting real. And I wanted to ask you guys, so remember when we were reading book 1 and I was talking about how there's like all of this stuff building up, and then when like the Harkonnen raid happens and the tooth happens, for me, it's like the beat drops and all of this stuff that you kind of like nebulously knew was happening. It all kind of coalesces together and you're like, whew. I feel like that's kind of what's happening here again, because we get all of these kind of nebulous pieces of information. Like we get the fears.
It's almost like sifting through Paul's prescience.
Kind of, yeah. So we see like the fear is estimating like how many Fremen they are, and he's making these estimations about Seleucus Secundus and all of these things going on in Arrakis that are kind of like nebulous, like crazy things. And then
was the Baron playing dumb, or
no,
okay, I wasn't
don't
sure if he was
think so.
playing dumb or if he like was actually like, oh my god.
No, because there were several times where he like stuttered or was like and had to like compose himself. I really don't think that he had any idea what the fear was talking about.
So the first chapter, let me start out by saying Irulan has a book that is not Muad'Dib related. It is
the feng shui
Fenring
of
profile.
Fremen.
Yes, the feng shui of Fenring.
The feng shui of Fremen sieges.
She has
Filing culture.
Feng shui Fremen sieges. Yeah.
She has the sequel, Lady and the Stutterer.
So yeah.
The Jeff Goldblum of the Dune universe.
Oh yeah, someone said like Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah. Also a shout out to Spicy Dune for reposting your Instagram story.
They are, if I send you guys a meme, it's probably been from there already. There is a couple of Facebook ones that I joined. Like I don't really go onto Facebook that much anymore lately, and it's usually just to see either Star Trek or Dune memes.
I mean, you gotta keep up to date, you know.
Of course.
With the important parts of media.
Yeah.
Cidnya just texted me. She's like, bro, no Wi-Fi sucks. I hate this. Please tell everyone that Paul is Kylo Ren.
That I agree with.
Now that, spot on.
Also, she misses everyone.
I really wish we had Cidnya here. Yeah. There's a void here on either side of me.
I was really looking forward to comparing our spine marks on this.
Oh no, she was getting 5 minutes to rant. Like she was literally going to get a 5-minute countdown to like rant about everything.
Yeah, I think that she would have deserved at least like a 10 or 15 minute beginning of this show where she could just rant about all of the shows that she's missed, where she could be like, okay, this, and this is what I have to say.
Yeah, address all the comments that we made. Oh, he's going to catch her hands.
She had Dr. Manhattan looking ass. She is really diving into that. One of her other comments was also fucking Paul with his I've enshrined my father's skull. Shut the fuck up, Kylo Ren. All these emo boys.
Wow, good point though.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Also, stupid fucking is my daughter born? All space and time is blending together. That was just a random text she threw in.
That's why she's calling him Dr. Manhattan. Okay.
Because that makes,
that checks out.
On November 14th, a skeleton appeared in the laboratory.
It's November 17th. There's a circulatory system in the lunchroom.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
He's grabbing ice cream, even though he's a circulatory system. I guess he likes ice cream.
Yeah.
That didn't happen.
You can't get brain freeze if you're just a circulatory system.
You don't have a brain.
What if he has no teeth either? He can't get that like chill in his teeth.
Damn, that's true.
The tooth.
Remember the tooth.
No, it's too soon.
Tooth soon.
Oh, he's a toothsayer.
Stop it. I will make a stream.
Cidnya just said that she misses doing streams. She'll be back in another week, or she's gonna fucking burn down Frontier.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
I mean, the good news is that she's, in Tampa. The bad news is she doesn't have internet. So
I told her to contact Syd and go to her house and just sit outside if need be to not spread.
She could just join me here.
I told her to. I guess she didn't feel comfortable doing that.
She could replace Bulbasaur. As if anyone could replace Bulbasaur.
yeah.
Well, you could have Bulbasaur there and then have like a flash of like evolution and then be like, "Hi."
Bulbasaur.
Yes. So we start this chapter by Baron Harkonnen raging down the hallway while his chief of security is like high as a kite off music.
Yeah, I love Samuda as a concept.
They don't explain that very much other than...
You get more of it in later books.
Oh. I read them. I guess I just zipped past it, kind of like other things in these books.
Yeah, I happened to fixate on it because I think that's so fascinating, a music drug that's like incredibly addictive. Yeah, you get quite a bit more of it in later books, like explanations of people doing it and how it works.
So we get into the, hey, where is my Baron, Fade Routha? I don't know, slave pits? Told you you're supposed to know where he's at all times.
So what exactly is he doing in there? I don't know, hanging out with some ladies.
Send a young boy to him, apparently, that was rigged to kill him. And like we go right into the, oh, it was quite a fetching boy, and like I'm just like, all right, like we're at this again.
Yeah, and there was even
not coded, not coded at all.
And I don't know if it was. It obviously wasn't. It needed a little bit explaining later on in the chapter, but apparently the young boy who was sent to him had the seeker in his leg, and there was a bruise in his leg, and so the Baron has this conversation that's like, I told you to inspect them personally, and what the hell was wrong with that?
Yeah. So, yeah, there was a blemish, he said, on the thigh.
Yeah.
And then we find out later that there was a poison needle hidden there, right where the Baron would have put his hand, because someone knew his personal habits well enough to place something right on that particular zone.
I got a text from Cidnya. She said that these
the
last 2 weeks have made her feel like she's back in 2009. She's regressing.
Should we just send her a flip phone? Should we send her a Motorola Razr?
Yeah, a pink razor.
Yeah, flip out keyboard.
What about the chocolate bar one? Ooh, would she be a sidekick person now? She texts a lot, I imagine.
Yeah.
I just told her like the first 12 minutes have been about her, and she's like, okay. We missed
So the Baron storms into the slave pits, to the captain of his guard to reckon with him for why he was given a slave boy who was a trap.
Literally, thirst and trap.
So then Fade Routha shows up.
Yeah, all spooked. He's like, what's going on?
He's
hey.
like, fuck.
And one thing
some spies.
I want to mention too is that, and it doesn't mention this right away, but this is, because it's the third chapter of the book, it's several years after, like 8 years. It's 8 years after the last chapter, or at least they are.
Is it 8 years?
Is it 8 years? They don't really say.
I thought it was 2, because
maybe it's
remember in the second chapter when Thafir is talking to the Baron and they're talking about his conversation with Finrig.
Yes,
that was 2 years ago.
Okay.
2 years. So yeah,
and
it's
then
been a couple years.
Paul's no longer a boy.
Stilgar also mentions that Paul is 18 now.
18. That's right.
Yeah.
He's almost drinking age.
So, time skip.
I mean, he's of age to orgy, apparently.
Well, he was at 15.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he was then, yeah. So, I mean, now he
So-
might be legal to drink spice beer. I don't know how it works in the universe.
You know, in the Fremen culture, I'm pretty sure if
Oh,
you
yeah.
can, you start riding a sandworm. I mean, spoiler,
12.
you start riding a
At 12.
sandworm at 12, so I'm pretty sure you're old enough to drink spice beer at that point.
Yeah, because Stilgar's like, you're 6 years past it. You know, they understand because you're not one of us, but get the fuck on the worm.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
back to the previous chapter, 'cause we're
Yeah.
skipping ahead a little bit. It is, 2 years before, or 2 years after the previous events that we just saw.
I like Fade's like, what has gone wrong? The boy we sent to my uncle has obviously been killed, but he was perfect for the job. Even Howard couldn't have made a better choice. The boy was perfect.
Perfect.
Yeah. So the Baron confronts them. He sends his guard captain to go remove the body from his quarters.
Also to kill the slave master who lost that pyramid chest.
Who
with
lost
Feyd-Rautha.
that chest while
Yeah.
Feyd-Rautha was not.
And then kill the 2 guards who he thinks are spying on him.
Yeah, well, the 2 guards that he could tell
Yeah.
were working for Feyd-Rautha.
Yeah, he was just like, yeah, do as your master ordered. Go, please. And then takes Fade to the room and he's like, listen, it was crafty, but not crafty enough. I'm going to step aside and advise you, stop fucking around.
Mm-hmm.
There's a really tense moment between the two because
Thinks he's going to get stabbed.
there's a really tense moment between the two because Fade and the Baron are basically like, Fade is thinking, okay, is he going to kill me? And the Baron is thinking, I can't kill him. So there's this like internal back and forth between each of them where they're like, okay, what's the other's motive? Like the Baron knows that eventually he's going to be replaced, so he has to make sure that he's useful enough. And then Fade is like, I have to kind of be useful enough, or I have to eliminate him. So they both know that they're going to backstab one another, but they both know that they need each other.
Yeah, one of Fade's inner dialogues was, have I failed utterly? Will he slip a poison blade into my back slowly through the shield? Does he have an alternative successor? And then the Baron's going, let him, flounder like a fish.
I can't imagine living in that situation where like the members of your house and your family and like your successor and the person that you're succeeding to the throne are like anyone could kill you at any time and you just have to live your life like that.
And casually mention how the Fremen have a religion.
Yeah. This chapter in particular really gave me the Game of Thrones vibe. So, I know that Game of Thrones gets that like, Dune, but in medieval times or whatever. This chapter really did it for me because it really goes into the houses and how they are going to backstab. And you really start to see that moment where Ned Stark's head gets beheaded and just all of that political stuff.
By the way, I can't hear medieval times now without thinking about that X-Men issue where magic's like, it's like medieval times, but shittier. Sorry, you said medieval times and I went right to that panel in my head. Magic's amazing.
I love magic.
Yeah, but Jen, I also really like the like plotting. I guess it's like the political intrigue in these 2 chapters that we get with the Baron.
The Baron has a great back and forth too with Faye, where he's like, "Look, it was clever, but not clever enough. Tell me, Faye, why didn't you break me down yourself? Like, you've had opportunity enough." And Faye's just like, "I need to keep my hands clean. I learned that from you."
Yeah, so creepy.
Very much. Like, literally, that's a conversation. It's like so fucking weird. It's like talking to 2 sociopaths.
Yeah.
Like, you could have killed me.
Much.
Well, I don't want the Emperor's truthsayer asking me questions and then I'll know the answer. Like, again, the truthsayer. So then
you can truly say that you didn't do it. And then even Fade questions the Baron and is like, well, why haven't you bought a Bene Gesserit truthsayer of your own?
Don't trust him.
You know my tastes.
You know my taste. So another one of those.
He would have
subtle,
gotten a
not so
Miles tag
subtle
though.
Code. One of those subtle but not so subtle
Yeah.
queer coding, basically saying like, well, you know, like I'm not into women, but
But yet he birthed
I don't want to have a woman around.
Jessica.
Well, he didn't.
Well, yeah. I mean, he didn't, but I mean, he had a child that was able to birth. Like, so somewhere along the line, he was like, "I guess I got to put a baby in someone."
I don't think he knows that. I think it was him. This was my understanding of that, was that the Baron wasn't aware that he had reproduced.
What did they do? Knock him, like drug him and just milk him and be like, "Here you
People
go."
have sex without having babies all the time.
Well,
He does it all the time.
I mean, with with his proclivities, where like, is he bi? Like, they don't really like. He seems to have proclivity towards young boys.
I mean, sure, yeah.
Very Roman.
But I don't think that it's necessarily about his sexuality, more so about like I think that he would still do it knowing that that's what had to be done. Like he would be like, ew, the whole time.
But I don't think he knows. Jen, do you think he knows that the Bene Gesserit have his offspring? I feel like he would. First of all, I feel like it was implied when we learned that Jessica was his daughter that he did not know. He definitely doesn't know it's Jessica. And if he knew that the Bene Gesserit like carried his child, I don't think that's something that he would let happen knowingly.
So do you think like, so I don't think that he knows, because I don't, like, even Jessica didn't know, like she doesn't really know her lineage. So I think that
male parts of her history.
So I think that maybe that was taken from him, like the
Yeah. One way or another, I think that he was either seduced or bamboozled in such a way that his seed was able to be collected by the Bene Gesserit in one way or another in some vessel, be it living or mechanic, I don't know. So that he is not aware of the fact that the Bene Gesserit have a child of his. He probably doesn't know that he has any offspring whatsoever.
Yeah, because they've got all those breeding programs. Yeah.
They're all over it. That's what they do. Like, Fade Routha probably doesn't know that Count Finrig's lady has his seed. I think that that's how they operate, is they, like, get you all fucked up and they do their super sexy Bene Gesserit sexy witch magic, and you don't even know what you've done. You wake up in the morning and you're like, what did I do last night? You don't know. That's what I think.
Perfected by the honored matrix.
Witchcraft.
Yeah.
It's funny that we were talking about the slippery slope of like trying to say things and like be eloquent about stuff, and I was like, hold on.
As
let me
it's not a strength of mine.
Like after the show last week, we were talking about it, and she was like, "You and Jen are so eloquent," and here I am going, Hold on. Let me think of the right words for this, and it really wasn't.
Well, anyway, so I just don't think he knows.
Yeah.
How did we get on this topic anyway?
I think that if he knew, I think that he would have done a better job of trying to save her whenever they went to the desert. I think that he would have possibly done that.
Oh, yeah.
To protect her as an heir, because...
But she's not a male heir.
As a useful ally, if nothing else. I agree with Jen.
Because then technically Paul is his grandson.
Mm-hmm.
The one he wanted to fuck? Yeah.
Well.
Yeah, I mean, at this point...
But yeah, I agree. I think if he did know... Especially if he specifically knew that Jessica was related to him, that he would try to leverage that to get them on his side or use that to his benefit in some way. If he knew that, he wouldn't just have that piece of information and just not act on it at all.
Yeah,
I think he's too conniving for that.
I also do like, he's like, I'm going to retire, and Faye's like, retire, Uncle? Like,
Yeah.
Really?
You sure?
Like, are you sure you're not going to be murdered by me or someone?
You sure that's how it works, Uncle? Because I just almost killed you.
Yeah.
5 minutes ago.
And then they talk about, like, the old fool saw through the shielded needle you planted in that slave boy's thigh, right where I'd put my hand on it, eh?
So, okay, yes. For just a second. So first, chronologically, the Baron and Fade had a chat about how Fade is going to succeed the Baron, and the Baron succeeded in making Fade understand, whether this is true or not, that his goal is to basically get to a point where Fade will not just be succeeding as the Baron, but could eventually become the Emperor because of the things that the Baron is doing now, currently. So he's like, this is why you need to keep me around, because I'm setting the stage for you to not only take over as the Baron, but to also be the fucking Emperor. And Fade, his little sociopathic ass, was like, sparkly eyes.
Fear warned him.
Faints.
Ooh,
Faints
I'm seeing
within
that whole
faints within
anime
faints.
sparkle.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. Kita, kita.
That sting.
Yes, so the Baron explained to Fade that was the plan, was to basically have a Harkonnen empire at the end of this whole convoluted plan that the Baron is executing. And so then we go to the next chapter where we learn, first of all, that it wasn't the Baron that caught onto this trick with the slave boy. It was fucking Thafir, and Baron's just taking credit for it. Like,
Also,
I saw right through that.
There's the part here where, like, Fade's like, all right, I give you my pledge, and what do you give me? He goes, I let you live.
Oh, yeah, and he made Fade Rotha kill all the slave women.
Yeah.
Such a bastard.
So when I was reading this, I felt like either Fade was fucking around with the women or Fade was fucking around with the slave owner, and both, and so the Baron telling him to kill them was basically punishment. Like, I know what you were doing. I want to fuck you, and you're fucking other people, so I'm going to make sure the people you are fucking are murdered.
Also, Fade's also against Thafir. He's like, listen, Hawat's a dangerous toy. Get rid of him.
Like, oh, now you want to get rid of people?
Yeah, like, Hawat has deep emotions, Fade. The man without emotions is the one to fear, but deep emotions, now those can be met to your needs.
Oh, like you, eh?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Single tear.
Flaccid
There's
mustache.
And I feel like I'm mixing up my chapters and I'm going back and forth because the third chapter, there's more. Is that man?
Third's all Paul.
Yeah, the third
third's
one
all
is
Paul.
Fremen.
I mean, excuse me, Jessica.
Sorry. So then the second chapter is with the Baron. Okay, and they're talking about all of the Fremen culture, or not the Fremen culture, but the like population numbers.
Yeah.
And I love how there's this conversation between Thufir, and it's like, hold on, give me a little bit more information. Like, he's doing the computing about like how many Fremen there are, and hold on, I just need this little piece of information. You need to give me more information, and I can like compute this. And it made me, not that I like, not that like I'm a big fan of the show, but it reminded me of characters like Sheldon from Big Bang Theory that just like seem like human computers that are
or like Data, maybe.
Yeah,
I feel
there
like
we go.
Sheldon.
Better example.
Yeah, much better. And I love Data. I absolutely love Brent Spiner. Like, I have a filthy thing for Brent Spiner. So, Brent, if you're watching,
welcome to the club.
Yeah.
So Brent, if you're watching.
Yeah. So,
there is a passage here.
TNG episode next.
There was a passage here that I thought Syd would enjoy. He babbles too much, Hawat thought. He's not like Leto, who could tell me a thing with a lift of an eyebrow or the wave of a hand. Nor like the old Duke, who could express an entire sentence in the way he accented a single word. This is a clod. Destroying him will be a service to mankind.
Nobody, and I mean nobody, ever gets over Duke Leto. Once you've had the Duke, you don't go back. Has anyone ever recovered from this loss?
Princess Irulan.
She never had him.
She was adjacent.
She
I
never
don't know
met him.
where she was. I don't know where the fuck she is in this book. I guess writing about Muad'Dib from a book.
She is literally in like the last 2 pages, Dan. I've been telling you this for months. The last 2 pages of the books, we get your girl.
The movie's a lie.
Not until then.
I don't know if I like watched the movies afterward, like the TV movie in particular. She's all over the fucking place from the beginning to the end. This whole goddamn book is a lie.
Yeah.
A lie, I say.
Right, the source material is bullshit.
When are we getting to the sex nuns? Like, well, we're getting to the good stuff.
Put your hole there, bud. Back to Jen's point. Back to Jen's more relevant point.
Which one, the Brent Spiner one, or?
Brent
Well,
Spiner,
if we want to go back to that one, yeah, I have no qualms with that. But I meant the calculations that Thafir is making.
It's that meme with the calculations going around the head.
Yeah, with the woman, like.
Yeah.
Except it's Thafir Hawat. Someone should make that meme. Anyway, we get a lot of really, really, really interesting information and like estimations about Arrakis.
The Secunda stuff too, like.
Yeah. So here's something
the himbo theory is real.
Here's something that I think is super interesting. So Thafir is explaining to the Baron how Arrakis could kind of easily be shifted into a place like Seleucia Secundus. And by saying that, he means a place where warriors like Sardaukar are trained in horrible prison planet conditions, but by their training and by what they gain after their training, wealth, status, everything.
Slave women, they specifically mention slave
something to shoot for.
Yeah, of course. So they come to appreciate this horrible prison planet as like a necessary good thing in the long run, because if you can make it through, then you get everything you've ever wanted. You get the best life ever.
The Fremen are originally from Seleucia Secundus and fled. Not fled. They left to go to harsher places.
So I think are you talking about the thing from the Reverend Mother, like the history?
There was a history.
Thing?
Yeah.
It was like different tribes of people, and some of them came from.
Yeah.
Somewhere like that, yeah. But I wouldn't say the Fremen like originated there.
I think it was the Dune Encyclopedia. They said they originated from Seleucia Secundus.
Well, shit, then I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Excuse me.
They're nomadic tribes. They've come from they've moved a bunch of different places.
We're reading Dune, not the Dune Encyclopedia yet. Is that part of this?
Not that part. It's actually its own book called the Dune Encyclopedia. It's far, far out of print. It's a $500 paperback.
Nerd.
Fuck that. Is there a digital copy?
Yeah.
Probably.
That's how I read it.
The point I was trying to make is that Thafir helped the Baron understand how he could come to use this planet as basically the same kind of thing that he suspects the Emperor is using his planet for, which is to make these super radical, super loyal, super effective soldiers.
Doesn't allow inspections of the prison planet either.
Yeah, of course, because he couldn't, because they would know that he's making soldiers this way. But that it also gives these soldiers this sort of like almost religious fanaticism, because they think like, we're the ones that made it out. You know, like we've earned everything that we have now because we survived like this horrible situation that a lot of people don't survive. So we are superior and we've earned what we've got. And so that gives them this like sense of like community and loyalism and like weird fanaticism. And he explained to the Baron how he could do this with Arrakis. He's like, I think this is what the Emperor's doing, A. B, you could do this with the Fremen. And the Baron was like, oh shit, that's what Count Finrig thinks I fucking said.
And
the Baron had no idea.
And also he's like, sell Raban down the pipe. Like, you know, send these messages that I will make sure get intercepted.
Yeah. So
and
Gurney's informing for him.
To your point, Syd, you know, because that's where like that moment is where the fear is basically like telling the Baron, like, tell me every little piece of detail of this conversation you had with him, because not only do I need to figure out what you know. I need to figure out what he knows, and I need to figure out what he thinks you know, and like, so he's literally doing all of these calculations of like who knows what, who's thinking who, like, and there's even this moment when they're talking about what can be done with the planet, and I believe that the Baron still thinks that there's just a handful of Fremen, and they make the quote, the number of, no, there's 5 million people
10 million,
on this,
at
10
least.
10 million at least.
Their population would be about 5
of.
million. About
No,
5
read
million.
the next line.
250 such siege communities, but at least possibly twice that,
So
which would be 10 million.
You got it. See, she's the human, the mentat.
So basically,
Baron's jowls quivered.
Count Finreg 2 years ago thought that the Baron was implying what the Baron just learned now from Thafir. So what Thafir then realized, he's like, oh my god. He's like, no wonder the Emperor has so many fucking spies on this planet. He's like, he thinks you're already doing this shit. It's full of spies. He's like, it's fucked. He's like, spies. You either have to just throw the whole ass planet away, or...
And then he was also like, hey, by the way, you know why he wanted the Atreides down? Because we had Duncan and Gurney training these guys to almost being as good as the Sardaukar.
Some of them being better. And for a moment, he's like, I wonder if Duncan's still alive. And my heart goes... It's not Duncan.
Hello, Dylan. What is up?
Greetings.
Dylan's a great friend of the show. He always is looking out for Jen and I.
Yeah.
Many, many ways.
A friend of mine.
Also a Moon Knight fan.
Yeah.
A friend of mine indeed.
And I think that they, Dylan, you guys just put out something on the Comic Lounge. Was it Miss Marvel? I think it was.
I saw something about that. It was the first video stream they're doing.
Yeah. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see that.
And as always, like, you guys want to come on, like, just let us know. We will talk some shit. We're doing a drinking episode on Thanksgiving, which could go poorly. You never know which way it goes. The randomness. I mean, we went on someone else's show, his community shout out show, and we got some questions that like really, really derailed. Ask us what our safe words are.
Good to know.
Yes, Dylan. Thanksgiving, we are family, so we're gonna get drunk together till we fight.
Yeah.
And by fight, usually Jen just like getting irritated about something I say and then mocking me to no end and then me logging off.
It's not me irritated. It's you talking about how you have like CD-ROMs. And I'm like, CD-ROMs? What the fuck is a CD-ROM? Like, this technology is...
CD-ROMs.
Yeah.
What do you use those for? Oh, don't encourage him, Noah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I had, like, from years and years ago, I had the entire Spider-Man, like, PDF collection, and they sold it as a CD-ROM set. And one day I was bored. I've never transferred them over, so I started reading the whole Spider-Man collection.
On CD-ROM.
How did you read it on CD-ROM?
Because I have an external fucking player.
I don't even know what that means. Right, was that English?
Yeah.
God,
I mean, if you'd like,
what year is it?
Down slowly.
if
2009, according to Cidnya.
If you'd like, I have some really bad poetry written on some floppy disk somewhere. If you have a floppy disk, I could probably pull up my dead journal.
Oh no!
Not live journal.
This conversation must end.
Weren't you trying to like make Boy Howdy happen? Like, come on, like. Stop.
I didn't have to try hard because Boy Howdy is a thing.
Yeah.
Are you talking about the phrase? Like,
yeah, like
she kept trying to make it happen during the show. And then the CD-ROM thing happened, and then it was just abuse from people in Amsterdam.
Those two things are not comparable. CD-ROMs and Boy Howdy, those are apples and oranges, my friend.
Thank you. Like apples and like onions or
Apples and like onions from the year 1985.
Listen, it's all transferred over now because I did that after the fucking abuse.
Great,
'Cause
well done. So we
didn't
made it
sleep.
through Y2K then.
Huh?
What?
What'd you say?
I don't know. What were we talking about? Mentats?
Mentats, and we were talking about the math on figuring out how
Thank
many
you, Noah.
Fremen, and we were another thing too. You know, in the first chapter, it's casually mentioned about the Fremen religion, and there just so happens to be this new leader of their religion.
Muad'Dib, a mouse.
This mouse
Muad'Dib,
guy.
named after a mouse? What?
Weird. Kind of weird. Sounds kind of cute.
Yeah.
Is it like Mickey Mouse? Ho ho!
Pretty much.
Weird and way.
So-
Ho ho!
They just had this casual conversation about like some new messiah who is leading the new Fremen religion. Weird. Okay.
They have the most casual conversation about how there's almost like 50 times, maybe 100 times more Fremen on the planet than anyone believes that there are, and about how Raban has lost twice the number of men that he's killed of the Fremen, because the Baron's like, well, he's killed like 6,000 Fremen, so that's got to be all of them, right?
Yeah.
I do like that he calls Raban his weasel nephew.
I didn't notice that. It's funny.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
he's
missed
like-
that one.
But how can I be certain that my weasel nephew isn't? We still have our spies on Arrakis. Tell Raban he either meets the spice quotas you set up, or he'll be replaced. And then Fade can come in and be the savior, which was already the plan. That's when he's like, "Ooh, you have my respect, sir."
These sneaky guys. But yeah,
Yes.
so this casual conversation about like political moves, but within it we learn the sheer number of the Fremen. We learn that they are just decimating the Harkonnen forces, basically, like just leveling them completely. And we learn that even the Sardaukar, when they fought the Fremen years ago, before they were trained in the weirding way by Paul and Jessica, they lost 5-1.
Yes, they talked about
Sardaukar.
that. Where he's like, the Sardaukar? Wait, what?
Mhm.
And Raban's like, I think there's more of them than you think there. No, there's a handful. He's like, no, like the Sardaukar kind of got their ass whipped, and that was the talk when I think it was Gurney and the one guy go like, yeah, we lost 1 to every 5 of theirs.
Yeah. To be quite fair, people have been telling the Baron this for years now. I don't know why
Hubris.
it took Thafir this long to fucking figure it out. Oh, and we learned that Thafir is getting secret communications from Gurney Halleck,
Yes.
which is nice.
And then
Yeah.
also he's like, wait, the tactics smacked of Halleck himself in Idaho and even Hawaii. Did Idaho survive? He asked himself. But this was a futile question. He did not yet ask him.
So just for a brief moment, even Thafir Hawat, the assassin Mentat, is like, I hope Duncan Idaho's okay.
Is he getting my love letters? Is he getting my
Is he
smoke
getting enough
signals?
rest?
Is it possible that
Did he
Paul
give you some-
survived? He
How
knew
is
the Baron was
father?
convinced that all the Atreides were dead. The Bene Gesserit witch has been his weapon. The Baron admitted, and that could only mean an end to all, even to the woman's own son. What a poisonous hate she must have had for the Atreides, he thought. Something like the hate I hold for this Baron. Will my blow be as final and complete as hers?
Men don't know anything.
No.
They just don't know anything.
Bamboozled.
They're
so
all wrong.
easily bamboozled.
They're all wrong. All these men are wrong.
I was going to say not all men, but I'm just going to shut the fuck up.
Okay, CD-ROM.
Oof.
I'm dead. I'm dead.
I haven't seen Jen bow out of the image
Oh,
like
yeah.
that since she set me up with Tom King's friend on a show.
Oh, you didn't.
Yeah.
We had Tom King's friend on a show, and she's like, "Did you know Dan was blocked by him?" And then it just careened sideways.
Bus Dan.
It was beautiful. It was beautiful. I wish that I had popcorn.
Well,
I mean, I have
so
some
here's the thing. I had the deer caught in the headlights look, and I was like, no, fuck that. I was like, I can't help it that he's a shitty Batman writer. And then you see Jen just careen out of the picture laughing. It was like slow motion, just her go. Doot, 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 doot.
No, that was the moment that all of her plans came to fruition.
Plans within
It
plans
was
within.
her tooth moment.
Remember the tooth. Remember the Tom King tweet.
By the way, I watched that video with Mars. I got name checked a lot in it.
Wait,
I was
which
like,
one?
the one you just did with her.
Oh yeah, the just like random Sunday chat.
Yeah, I watched it. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, I got name checked a lot. I
Yeah,
guess I should be flattered.
Yeah.
Till the Tom King talk came up, and I'm like,
Hey, I mean, your brand is strong.
it's stronger than I'd like it to be.
See, and you know, I
That's
get
how
a lot of
Sydnya and I
shit.
became friends, because she started giving me shit online because of my opinion.
You give me a lot of shit for me giving you shit about CD-ROMs, but I try to make up for it.
Will you stop it? Like, seriously. I'm gonna come home one day when she moves in, and she's gonna be like, "These are all your CD-ROMs. I'm going to help you help yourself and throw these away."
You know that prank people do where they like tinfoil your bed? I'm just gonna CD-ROM your bed.
So at one point, I was gonna lean into it and have like a gold chain with a CD-ROM on it.
Flavor Flav.
Like, I was just gonna lean into it and like king of the ROMs.
King of the ROMs. Oh my god.
Stop.
we had a viewer who doesn't come on that much, Sanimation, who like she literally will pop in chat just to like drive by and make a comment about it and leave.
Yeah, and be like, hey Dan, how are the read anything good on CD-ROM lately? And
This is the energy I love.
Yeah.
Yes. Let's get her on the street. Is she like Dune?
Honestly, I'd love to have her on, maybe not for this stream because she's a comic fan, but like, by the way, like, I really hate you at this moment, Jen.
Why? I'm so pleasant and I'm nothing but nice.
She's lovely.
Because of the levee you just broke.
What do you mean? What levee?
She did not know about the whole CD-ROM thing, and
you were the one who explained it.
All of China knows you like to keep secrets. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm done.
I did nothing. You were the one who went in on CD-ROMs, man.
I tried to explain it, and that was my mistake.
That was your first. It was your second mistake. The CD-ROMs were the first. I'll make mistakes.
Yeah.
I swear to God, if my text goes up and it's fucking Cidnya, just like, hey, by the way, my internet worked for 3 minutes.
So you guys were talking about CD-ROMs.
So CD-ROMs.
Huh?
Well, I know what triggers her. I know what triggers her. And we actually talked about on the Saturday show this past week about Jeff Lemire's Gideon Falls. There's no book that she hates more than life itself than that book.
I don't get it. It wasn't a bad one.
Yeah, I like Lemire though. Consistently.
She does too, but she's like, the art is ugly. I fucking hate it. The book makes no sense.
You know, a lot of people dislike the artwork in some Lemire books. That's all right. I can
didn't
see
like
how
Sweet
people
Tooth.
would dislike, Sweet Tooth. Like, I can see how people dislike that art.
But then again, she said that the Lock and Key art was trash too.
Okay, well, you know, if she wants to throw hands,
she's right.
I'm right here.
I didn't like it. I didn't like.
By the way, everybody, we have a
it's
we have
whimsical.
It's childish.
It's whimsical.
We have a promotional thing going on with comic book campaign where he'll be carrying the book we'll be focusing on, which is Sandman Universe Lock and Key. You can order it from him in advance. He loved the book.
Wait, what? Sandman Universe Lock and Key?
Yes.
Yeah.
They're doing a crossover.
When I heard the news, it was right after I had read Lock and Key, and I didn't like the artwork of the first volume. I do, and I think that the artwork gets better later on. But when I first heard the news about Sandman and Lock and Key, I wanted to vomit because Sandman deserves better than that.
Steve Dillon vibes. I will say that's what I got from the art. Steve Dillon vibes.
From Lock and Key.
Yes.
What's wrong with Steve Dillon art?
No. I liked it. I had Steve Dillon vibes. It told the story well.
Okay.
Is the art for everyone? Probably not. But for me, it worked.
For me, it worked.
Yeah.
It's whimsical.
We both like Preacher, so of course Steve Dillon.
I like Preacher, but I just didn't. I feel like the artwork for Preacher and the artwork for Lock and Key, like it just didn't work. And I think it was the coloring as well. I didn't love it. I appreciate Noah in the comments. I appreciate your opinions.
Noah, I appreciate your honesty.
Didn't appreciate mine.
And not much else right now, Noah.
Yeah.
So maybe this is not the time to talk about this. I could go on a diatribe about why
This might be the drinking show on Thanksgiving night.
Yeah.
Because not many books are coming out that week. So
Are you kidding me? I have like 20 books on my list that I'm going to pick up this week, and that's just the stuff that I want. Not even the
I said
random
Thanksgiving week.
Oh,
this
got
week.
it. I'm thinking, okay, because I'm going to say like this week, like there's tons of stuff coming out. Like I already know I'm going to spend like $200 at the shop this week.
Yet I haven't seen Dune House of Atreides #2 on that list yet.
Is Seven to Eternity back this week?
Yes.
Is there another?
Guess what Jen's going to frown on me about when I talk about it this week?
This is why I bring up CD-ROMs.
Wait, what about Ascender? Is that also this week?
No, I don't think so.
I think it goes to trade. So I think they are on a break.
Okay. There's something else.
There was a bunch of stuff this week. It was a busy week because they're getting everything out this week instead of next week.
Yeah, I even thought so, and I don't read half as much as you guys.
Yeah, I mean, I keep
So
saying I'm
much.
going to cut back, and then I start hate reading stuff.
This is literally my list. This is everything that I plan on picking up this week. It's a lot.
Mm.
I got my
Yeah,
DC
that's
books
heavy,
today. The DC books were no bueno.
No.
No. It's been like that for a while.
I'm gonna be real honest with y'all.
Mhm.
When they made Nightwing into Rick Grayson, I straight up stopped reading DC, and I
He's
know
back.
I know that he is, and I'm gonna find it in my heart to forgive him. I'm gonna find it in my heart to start reading a series again.
Tom King's fault.
But healing takes time,
Tom King's fault.
and I can't just disregard what they've done to me
Tom King's fault.
and to my Dick. So yeah, I haven't read DC in a hot minute because they hurt my boy.
Yeah.
Or like shock value, I don't know. There's nothing
Well, we're the joke.
Hey. No.
Wait, oh yeah.
We're the
who's
joke, and she's the
who's the-
punchline.
Who's the punchline? Okay, all right.
Punchline is the punchline. Punchline,
Needed
but we're
some
the
clar-
joke. We're
Needed
the
a
joke.
clarification. Not clear on it. Okay.
Although
it.
Jen liked it.
I
did
actually,
not.
I enjoyed punchline #1. It's probably because I had such low expectations, and I read 3 Jokers and hated every moment of it. So after that, it was just, I get it.
You can only go up from there.
Yeah.
That's what you miss every Saturday. Shit like that. And then we just go down like weird rabbit holes where we start talking about random inane shit.
How dare you go enjoy life and go like kayaking and stuff?
No, I tune into you guys' streams whenever I can. I always love it. But I'm always in the middle of things.
No, you should be totally in the middle of things.
So
We
the
should do a
third
kayaking episode. Anyway, yeah.
the third chapter, we get nonsense from Princess Irulan. I'm gonna call it out. Like it literally is nonsense.
Oh, do you concede that she talks out of her ass half the time? She just
It's
says
the-
words.
It's the
Dan.
collected sayings of Muad'Dib, and it makes no fucking sense. She's like,
They
it has
keep-
symmetry, elegance, and grace. I was like, listen, he's not going to make you his wife. Like,
Hold on. So here's what I have to say about that. What is the name of the book? The name of the book that she's writing is The Collected Sayings of Muad'Dib. So that is in what Princess Irulan is saying. That shit is right from the mouth of Muad'Dib himself. So that's
I think
not
she's
Princess
making it
Irulan.
up. I think she's making it up.
Princess Irulan wouldn't do
Have
us
we
that
heard Paul
dirty.
talk like this?
I
He's a dumb
mean,
little shit.
he's been tripping out in the desert for like 3 years at this point.
Yeah, he's
said
just
some
like,
shit.
what day? What time is it? Like, what year? Wait, am I
My
having sex
sister is
with
in
my?
the stage. My sister is not born.
Is
yeah,
my
this one
wife
he's
here?
like,
Have I
Johnny
had
He's in the
sex with
Matrix.
my
my
wife
breakfast.
yet? What is going
Johnny carries
on?
my child.
Yeah,
Shawnee has the line of this book, though, this chapter, though. Like, she has some big Chani energy.
Yeah.
Johnny's cool.
Yeah.
Like, this one in particular where she's like, oh, God. She's talking about how, like, she's killed scorpions or played games with scorpions.
She's no longer a child catching scorpions.
Yes. I do not play games. And she's like, I killed him. He was not worthy.
Oh yeah,
If
that's
I
when he kills the guy that comes to fight Paul. And
Yeah,
don't worry
she's
about
like,
it, babe.
if I killed him, he's not worthy of you. And people will hear that shit.
She's not wrong.
But just the way she's like, Usul, I do not play games. I'm just like, respect.
Sit down, sweetheart.
I'll be honest, this was one of my, like, I liked this chapter a lot, obviously, because there's big moments in it. And I think that, like, this is where everything just kind of goes forward. But this chapter was so hard to read. And it was one of the chapters where we really take a look into Paul's psyche, because he's just tripping balls. He doesn't know what day and time it is. He doesn't
That
even know if
spice
he's
food's
in the
strong.
same, he doesn't even know if he's in the same, like, reality that, you know, he's thinking that he's in. And
Hera's killing dudes too, coming in there.
with Paul with this, it just feels insufferable. It was
Got his dad's
miserable
skull.
listening to him.
It's a good word for it, Jen.
Insufferable.
It's like, shut up.
Just shut up, Paul. Just,
You've been doing this for years at this point.
Yeah, like, how does he still have, like, relationships with people? Like, how is he still getting women to fuck him? Because if I hung out with Paul, like, he may be cute as shit, but, like, at this point, like, you offer me nothing, dude.
Well, like, he's like, I was in a dream like.
He's got what?
In a dream like. Oh, sorry.
So, like, even Stilgar was carrying Muad'Dib's flag, and he was talking about his fucking death commandos, which conceptually
Fedaykin.
I love. Yeah, the Fedaykin I love as a concept. Very sexy to have your own death commandos that have their own song that they sing as they murder for you.
Yeah.
You'll get yours soon enough.
In action, that's pretty fucked up, coming from the place where he's acting as a religious prophet right now, and profiting off of this, like, fanaticism that he's creating in these people, like, for his own benefit. Like, and he keeps saying my terrible purpose. He's literally acting it out. This is my frustration with Paul. It's like his inner monologue is like, oh, but I can't die because then no one will be here to stop the terrible purpose. And it's like, you're literally doing it. Like,
every move I make is being
raising your flag, bitch.
Everything I do is documented. It's legend.
Yeah. He's like, I'm a fucking legend.
If I die here, they'll remember me. If I live, then I become their prophet. Like, either way you win, dude. Just shut up.
The unearned confidence of a mediocre white man who's about to rule the universe.
I recall we went raiding to recover the water of our dead in Arakeen. I found the remains of my father in the funeral pyre. I enshrined the skull of my father in a Fremen rock mound overlooking Hard Pass.
I cannot unsee the Kylo Ren-ness of this now that Cidnya mentioned that.
My wound.
Considered that before.
This is the most emo shit here, though. My wounds are real. My scars are real. The shrine of my father's skull is real.
Yeah, you're 18.
Still in the dreamlike state, Paul remembered that Hera, Jameis' wife, had intruded on him once to say there'd been a fight in the siege. Like, he's irritated because she's like, hey, there's a fight outside. He's like, fucking meditating. Leave me alone.
And she's like, Johnny killed somebody. And he's like,
oh, yeah. The fuck you just said? Yeah, I cleansed my Chris knife. That's right. I know what I'm doing. And he's like, Chani, what is it? As I hear her water burden charms or her coins. Yeah. Chani's water rings worn openly in Siege on a cord around her neck tinkled.
Tinkled. Mm.
You killed him. I guess I should have left him for Hera, huh? And I was like, ooh, spicy.
Spicy meatball.
You trained me in the weirding way. Certainly, but you should. I was born in the desert, Paul. Usul, excuse me. I know how to use a crysknife.
Chani kicks ass.
He's kind of like, listen, you're a lesser woman. Like, it's my job. I don't need you interfering. Like, he's literally kind of giving her that talk.
I don't really mean to defend Paul, but I didn't really get, I saw this interaction as like his immediate reaction was to be like, hey, that's not cool. But then his actual reaction was like, shit, she's right though.
Because it was like, that's my job. And she's like, no, like.
She was like, look how many less people will come to challenge you now that you know that your woman, might as well just kill them before they reach you.
But his initial reaction was kind of dickish.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, he's 18, I know.
I think, I mean, he is 18, so this is even doubly true for him, but I think people can have emotional reactions immediately that aren't necessarily their true reactions to events. And it's not like he punished her for that. He didn't, like, make her swear to never do it again.
No.
Right? He just kind of was like, oh, okay.
And then we go into, like, Lady Jessica, and people going to her about Alia, and she's like, no.
And the way that the women treat her because of that, like, they don't understand why that happened with Alia, but then Alia is just weird as shit.
They think she's possessed. Like, they go to her and they're like, please exorcise the demon from this child.
And I do like that he's like, Mother her oval face had new lines in it, the corners of the mouth, but the hair was still like polished bronze, the wide set green eyes. Always wide set. Like, they always talk about that. At least they call her skinny bitch like the Duke kind of did. And she's like, the Fremen have a simple practical religion, he said. She's like, nothing about religion's simple. She keeps trying to teach him, and he's just not fucking listening. He's like, religion unifies our forces. It's our mystique. She's like, you deliberately cultivate this air, this bravura. You never cease indoctrinating.
So Jessica's never wrong about anything except in the fact that she cannot see, like, her actions out as far as Paul can. So, like, everything
Paul goes back at her.
Well, everything that she did in book 2, that she did so that Paul could secure a place among the Fremen, so that Paul could survive, so that Paul could hopefully, like, recover his dukedom. These are the reasons she did that. And what Paul's doing is conquering the fucking universe. And, like, that's outside of her realm of understanding. So, like, yeah, she did all of these things for Paul, like, for his well-being, not so that he could become this, like, intergalactic prophet and rule life as we know it. She can't see that. Like, her prescience doesn't do that, and his does.
And then he's like, she never accepted our liaison, the marriage of youth with Chani, but we have an Atreides son. And Jessica found herself unable to reject the child with the mother.
Yeah, of course. She's a mother, foremost.
And then, like, she's like, you think me an unnatural mother? Of course not. I see the way you watch me when I'm with your sister. You don't understand about your sister. Oh, I know why Aaliyah is different. She was the unborn part of you when you changed the water of life. You know nothing.
She tells him.
And he's like, I don't think you unnatural. Like, I just see like the head dunking. I don't see you unnatural.
Yeah.
I do love your Chani. I accept her. And she's constantly trying with him. She's just like, I don't fucking get this motherfucker. Like, I saved him. I did all this shit for him. I fucked his sister up for him.
Yeah. Yeah, she did. She did. And she did it.
Because it's the Duke's son.
Exactly. She's not just doing this for Paul. She's doing it for the Atreides, you know? She's doing it for Duke Leto, for his heir. But she definitely has never foreseen, like, the far reaches, like the results of this, like Paul has. Like, he keeps saying this fucking terrible purpose, and he keeps not fucking doing anything about it.
Well, do you think that it's almost out of spite, like because she's the first Bene Gesserit to have a male heir. She knows that she wasn't supposed to do it. Do you think that at this point, because like even up to this point in all of the previous books, it's almost like everything that she has this incredible training, but even her incredible training didn't prepare her for these specific moments where she's just kind of like grasping at straws, like, I think I need to say this in order to prove
She's
myself
doing
to the
improv.
Fremen. So I think that I need to do this. I think this is the right thing to do. I think, I'm supposed to drink this water, and I'm just going to figure it out as I go along. Like, as much as she is like a fantastic character, she doesn't know what she's doing. And honestly, I think that even if she doesn't know, this terrible purpose that Paul has, because he can see that and she can't, it's like, well, shit, I have to own up to my mistake, or else the Duke's death was in vain. Me going against the Bene Gesserit order to only bear women is in vain. Like, I have to prove all of these motherfuckers wrong. Like, everything she's doing could just be out of spite. It could just be to save her family.
I've never considered that, but I think that's definitely possible. And
like, it's her way of holding a grudge against herself. Like, I'm just gonna fucking do it at this point because otherwise I look like an asshole.
Because otherwise all of this would have been a mistake. Because it would have been for nothing. Like, if it just ended this way.
And
why did she have a son for her Duke in the first place? Because now the Duke's dead, and then the son's dead, and now the Atreides line is dead. So she has to make it work.
Exactly.
Valid reasoning, for sure.
So,
and,
like, I'm not
say,
sticking up for her, but I think I get it.
Spite is reason enough for me to do anything, so
100%.
You.
With her there.
No, not
me?
you.
Me?
No,
never.
So I kind of get the feel like Paul's still resentful at her.
Yeah.
Sure.
I'm a freak.
Like, it comes out at times, but at times he's just like, I love my mother. But yeah, like, you did this to me. You made me a freak. And it's like, dude, think about your sister, what she just fucking did to her.
Like, everything that Paul has had this like long drawn out like couple of years where he's like, what moment am I in? What time am I in? Where am I at? What's going on?
He's Grant Morrison.
Just kind of like, so he's just like walking along, enjoying the trip. Like, okay, I guess I got to become this like prophetic leader of the Fremen. But then Aaliyah is
no other choice.
Aaliyah's just born into it with this like insane knowledge of everything that's going on.
Without a personality.
Without, literally, like, it's a personality of no personalities. Like, Aaliyah at this point is just a ghost, like this poor tragic ghost of a child who
can speak perfectly.
Everyone hates this kid. Like, no one, I'm sure, like, even her mom doesn't like her. But knows she has to keep her around. But like with Paul could literally make all the mistakes in the world, and he still knows, I could die riding the sandworm and people are still going to love me and write legends about me.
Yeah, there will be books written and songs sung no matter how this day goes, whether I live or die.
Like, Stilgar talking to him about riding that worm was interesting. He's like, listen, 12-year-olds
don't embarrass me out there, son.
Yeah, basically.
I think that was actually his way of saying, like, look, we let little kids just like ride the sandworm, just, give it a little yeehaw, boy howdy. Boy, like, so all of a sudden,
no, it's not happening.
All of a sudden the worm comes by and Paul's just like, boy howdy, that's a big one.
And then they start playing that Lil Nas X song.
Yeah.
Someone comes out with a boombox and they put a CD-ROM in it. But yeah, Alia's fucked up, or Aaliyah, how you guys say it. I always read it as Alia, so I don't know if I'll be able to break that habit.
At least in Children of Dune, it was Alia.
Alia.
Yes.
Or Aaliyah.
Alia of the Knife. Saint Alia.
Yeah, Saint Alia. Alia the Strange.
Alia the Possessed. The Abomination.
She's a certified freak. We don't
7
get
days a week.
7 days a week. We don't get any of that yet, but
But she's super hot according to the books and the movie.
no, yeah. I mean, not
Because of
right
course
now,
she's fucking crazy, so of course she's hot.
a toddler, but
No, in Children of Dune, she's seduced by a Gola. Or vice versa.
hey, I mean, we've all been seduced by golas.
He may or may not be a himbo.
I'm not one to judge.
Just picture that Jason Momoa
Surely
Gola.
You know what I was strangely thinking about earlier today? I was like, I really wish we could
Waffles.
fast forward to when Paul gets his eyes melted out, because that's when he's really hot.
Yeah.
Like right before he goes full cryptid, when he's just like a feral, like blind, wise desert shaman.
Let's just go ahead and instead of reading Children of Dune and Dune Messiah chapter by chapter, let's just read it. Let's just like read one book a month and then
That might break me
One book a month.
to discuss it.
only one. You can only read one book a month.
The stream
So
that
hold
we would
up.
do for that would be like 6 hours long.
It would be Jodorowsky, like 14 hours acid trip.
We could get a soundtrack. We could get some CD-ROM.
Pink Floyd.
Boy, howdy, that's a good idea.
Boy, howdy, it is a good idea. Yeehaw.
Yeah.
So if the other ones were broken into books like this one, I could totally see doing like one book.
Oh yeah, so like the third, maybe we should just do that. Just kind of like figure out what the chapter is and
So I'd like to break into when Chani's talking about factories creating textiles and rugs, and then talking about the vivid wall hangings.
Yes. Yes.
Frank
one
Herbert staying on his
Staying
brand.
on the home furnishings brand. Thank God. What would we do without knowledge of the?
yeah.
I gotta talk. When we got Cidnya on, I gotta ask her like if she focused in on this like we did, because like I feel like no, because
I never would have had this like. I never would have had this focus if it wasn't for Jen and the filing cabinets.
Remember the filing
That was
cabinets.
the first domino,
Remember the
you know.
filing cabinet.
the
Now here we
cabinets.
are.
I think that maybe it's also like Cidnya too, like bringing up stuff like the terrible purpose. Like once again, this is my third time reading
Tattooed
this
on my
book.
arm.
Yeah, it looks like that's infected with terrible purpose.
Which might I say, Gambit's so talented, he free-handed that maker.
Damn.
I know, it
Like,
looks
no
incredible.
stencil.
I love it so much.
Yeah.
I've told everyone about it a million times on the internet, but now I'm saying it.
Well, Gambit's
Honestly.
like, I've never watched this. I don't know what the fuck it is. I've never read it either, but it looks cool.
He's like, I could draw a fucking worm.
Yeah. I got you.
But
for
yeah,
that.
he literally just looked at reference on his iPad and drew it in marker on my arm, no stencil.
Mm-hmm.
An artist.
Yes, our friends are talented. And if you happen to be in Cocoa Beach in Florida, book an appointment with Gambit. Great artist. A little bit of a heavy hand sometimes on the shading, but
Oof.
you know,
Nah.
Yeah. It's a little bit.
Gentle like butterfly kisses.
Like an angry tickle is how
Yes.
I described it.
I've always felt like the rubber band just flicking you repeatedly, and after like an hour, you're just like, yeah, whatever.
I don't know how people come up with these comparisons because I feel like a tattoo machine feels like a tattoo machine.
Mm-hmm.
Different machines, because some like you get the ones that sound like a chainsaw going.
No. Yeah.
Depends
Yeah.
on the settings too. Like, you know, you can
Yeah.
adjust. Different artists have different preferences.
Because I always remembered Andrews was like super loud,
I don't remember Andrews being super loud.
fairly loud compared to like Gambits, and I mean Dangers was super loud. But anyway, enough tattoo talk.
That's because
So
Danger is one from 50 years ago.
I do like that the captain of the Fidaken's name is Chat the Leaper.
It's what now?
Chat the Leaper. I like how they have like super villain names. It's not Batroc Leaper. I have Chat the Leaper, and they have all these weird people. It's like, here's my maker polls. They've never failed. here's this as he's walking out. He's like, can't talk to anybody because it's part of the religion. And I'm like, all right, we're gonna get to him riding the maker. Nope.
Oh my god, yeah. This is fucking my Duke edging all over again.
Yeah.
I was so mad when I finished that chapter. I'm like, I really just had to read like 40 pages of Paul having an emo fit, and I don't even get to see the fucking worm.
This is the end of the first movie.
Do you think it'll end before the worm? Because
Well,
I'm gonna storm out.
That would be like leaving you on edge.
Storm out of that theater.
Literally leaving you edging.
Do you think
That
that
Not
do you
satisfying.
think that it'll be with him riding it or just seeing one?
Like him getting ready to walk out to ride it.
I swear to God, dude, if that is how it ends.
But then maybe
just be Syd walking out. I was so close. Fuck this.
But maybe if the end of the first movie is here, where he's about to ride a worm, a very large worm, then maybe we'll actually get more than 2 pages of our girl Princess Irulan in the second movie.
That's not a concern to me. I want the big
Genuine
worm.
pony.
You're like, I
want
want
the
to see a
big worm,
worm,
and I want it now.
A cover of Genuine's Pony, but it's ride that maker.
I could give a fuck about Irulan and her fucking literature nonsense. Fucking nerd. Give
I
me
feel
the big worm.
she's gonna show up
Nerd.
at the dinner party. I feel like she's gonna show up at the dinner party.
Dan, you're projecting.
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, if I had my way, the sex nuns would already be invading in the first movie. Like, you think you know about sex? I can make slaves out of these motherfuckers. They'll be addicted, like Miles Tegg. They tried.
I just want a big fucking worm in my
Yes.
face.
Yes. It's what we deserve. It's the Dune we deserve.
Well, we definitely will have one in your face because that part with the cave.
Yes, before they meet the Fremen, there's
Yes.
what I would refer to as a worm cameo. Not really full on worm action, more of a tease.
What if
So
they
do you
just
think
Still not.
fuck with
That's
everybody
where
and
I
it's the
think-
worm from Beetlejuice?
I think that's where they'll end the first movie or be close to that.
That's a Jurassic Park moment, though. I feel like that's like a midding part of the movie.
So if that's where they ended the movie, then the only time we would have ever seen Chani was in Paul's dream at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's not going to be the case.
She said she's barely in it.
Right. Maybe it is then. Maybe she's just in the dream scene and she's not even really in the movie. And maybe the only time we see Stilgar also is when he comes into the Duke's meeting. Maybe we don't actually get any Fremen.
They show him in the desert, though, so maybe it'll be when Jessica beats the shit out of him.
Yeah, maybe. So that would be after the worm then, too.
Yes, because then they'd be like going with them. They
So
might kill Jamis in the first movie. God help me.
I want him to die as soon as possible. So I feel like it makes sense that the movie could stop right after Jessica does the Water of Life. And we see Paul and Chani get together and the Fremen are going all orgy, and it would be the first time that we actually see like the numbers of the Fremen.
Oh, I thought you were going to say it'd be the first time we see an orgy in a Dune movie. I'd be like,
Oh, I
fair
was
enough.
going to see
We've
that
been
in
down
my
that road.
first rodeo.
Boy howdy.
Boy, howdy, this is not my first rodeo.
I think it makes sense that the movie would end before this point. I'm saying.
I think way before. Like we're not going to get any crazy Paul. I don't think that we're going to see.
Well, we don't have Fade in this movie.
Worm, dude, I will not forgive them if they.
Yeah.
We do not have Fade in this movie.
Yeah, good riddance. Who cares?
You don't want to see Count Fenring and him talking?
No.
Nature finds a way.
I've had enough white male sociopaths in my life. Thank you. Good. I'm set. Quota filled.
I've had my
Maximum capacity.
Yep.
I've had my fair share of female sociopaths lately.
That this time.
They're not necessarily white though, so can't.
Sociopath's a sociopath.
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah, this chapter, I feel like this was a really good spot to end. like this reading section in because
Was it because Syd was not satisfied?
I mean, like, it leaves us on a cliffhanger, and do we really know? So here's my thing: is that like right now, if this is the first time that we were reading it, would we really know which worm this is? Because we just think it's going to be a worm. We know that it's a very large worm, a very large maker. But I'm saying
Muad'Dib's gonna ride it, of course it has to be gigantic.
But I'm saying if we're a reader who has never read this book before, I'm not talking about, multi-readers. We don't necessarily know yet if it's the Shai Hulud. We know it's a really big ass worm.
Well, we've seen the videos of Kyle MacLachlan riding the worm with Stilgar in the 1984 version, which was fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just know.
And of course, like the next chapter, we get Muad'Dib's secret message to the Landstrad from Arrakis Awakening by Princess Irulan. Control the coinage in the courts.
Did she just intercept it? Did she just like...
She be spying. She always be spying. She's conniving.
She spied on her dad.
She's spying on everybody.
She's like reading Paul's diary, like the secret collection of the sayings of Paul Muad'Dib. Today I rode a sandworm. It was really big. Boy, howdy, it was the biggest one anyone had ever seen before.
Yeehaw. Love.
Giddy up. And then I rode Chani. Giddy up.
Can't decide which one I like better. We'll update.
So now here's where I'm going to probably do something that's going to get me fucking trashed. I guarantee she probably knows where Paul's CD-ROM porn is.
Oh, for sure.
Because CD-ROM was futuristic during the 1965. Or it'd be Hollows.
Hollow film?
Yeah. But like Paul's got some weird ass fucking porn.
Weird ass pornography.
WAP.
I mean, Irulan probably wrote a book about the fornications of...
50 Shades of Muad'Dib.
Yeah.
The Kama Sutra of the Fremen.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, like 50 Shades of Muad'Dib is like...
Yeah.
She was the whatever character's name, like and Paul's like, let me show you my torture room. And then he's just like crying.
On the
he's
wall,
just crying.
Tapestries on the wall.
Filing cabinet.
Mismatched.
No feng shui at all.
Just shoving his balls in the filing cabinet and shutting it.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Hurt me. Hurt me.
What about a CD-ROM?
So there is, I think I accidentally, oh no, that's the wrong one.
Boy howdy.
I advanced the cause. I'm so sad.
I really have to say this because, or maybe I'll wait. I don't know. There is a chapter, like I was looking and seeing like which chapter we should go to next. And there is this conversation between Lady Jessica and what's James's ex-wife or James's widow, Hera.
She's still young. She's still young.
She's still young. So
goddamn right.
The ending of next chapter, I think you guys are really going to appreciate. There's this conversation between Lady Jessica and Hera. Don't go to it now and read it. It better be a surprise, BB.
I can't. I literally cannot operate this ebook.
Can I read it to you? Do you want me to read it to you or tell you what happens?
Reading?
Yes. Okay. Let me see here. So basically, Hera and Jessica are talking about Chani and what Chani's role is. Lady Jessica is basically like, how should I perceive Chani? Is she a threat? Is she good for my son? Basically, like, is she good enough for my son? And then Hera says to Chani, "Your rugs are very dirty here." She swept her gaze around the floor. So many people tramping through here all the time. You really should have them cleaned more often. Like, I accidentally read a little bit too far, and I read that, and I died laughing because of the rug conversation. Basically
Hera
saying
knows
like
what's
clean.
up.
Your
Hera's
rug is
basically
dirty,
like,
girl. Beat it out.
Clean your rugs.
She was like, "Damn bitch, you live like this?"
Yeah, exactly. This is how you live.
I
Your
clean
rug.
Usel's cave, not yours.
Yeah.
Jessica's
So-
trying to have a real conversation with a woman, and she's like, "Your rugs,
Your rugs.
Jessica."
So, I'm thinking 635 to 689. Be 3 chapters.
These numbers mean nothing to me. How many
3
pages
chapters.
for you guys?
3 chapters.
Yeah. That's exactly where I marked 2 that I thought we should
And it
read
would
to.
be
50.
about 51 pages.
Okay.
Yeah.
The next chapter after that has another ridiculous sayings of Muad'Dib. How often is that the angry man rages denial of what his inner self is telling him?
So that's
what-
the beginning of the chapter. We go to, we stop at that point.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Listen, I'm not going to say all her stuff's gold.
She
It's
just
not
says
her
words,
stuff.
man.
She's
Look, I
just
know-
documenting.
Sometimes it's her stuff, and I know she's really hot, and I know you like her, but she just says words half the time.
Fair enough. Yeah. No, listen, I'm not going to deny it.
She just says words.
Does Chani have an editor? You think?
Does
Chani,
Irulan or Chani?
Oh, sorry, Irulan. Does Irulan have an editor? Is
I think she
Chani
most-
Oh
Irulan?
no,
Certainly
she got
does
the editor fired like Tom King.
Yeah.
I'm sure she quite refuses to be edited.
It was Mark
And
Doyle.
the editor
And
would be like, "This literally makes no sense. This is just a mishmash of words that you'd put together."
actually, she
Yeah.
was the editor of Batman. Then Tom King got her fired, and then she's like, "I'll fucking write about Muad'Dib nonstop."
Yeah. And then Tom King was like, "Oh, what a great person Princess Irulan is. Congratulations on your promotion or whatever."
And then Count Fenring was like, "Hey, didn't you get her fired? That's very odious of you to type about her."
Mhm.
You really
Yes, that is a thing that really happened.
it.
That was actually a really thing that happened on the internet this weekend. Tom King congratulated an editor that was leaving DC that he got fired from
Oh,
Batman,
oh.
and kind of gloated about getting fired, and then was like, "What a great editor! Blah blah blah! Congratulations on wherever you go next." It was like, so Marvel editor is like, "Hey, you kind of got him fired and then shit talk him afterwards, so it's kind of odious with you coming out and saying these things."
Oh no.
And of course, I got text about it. I was like,
Because your brand is strong.
let's start the stream. I really don't want that to be my brand. Unfortunately, I made friends because of that brand. Cidnya, I don't think would have found me had it not been for that brand. And my friend Nat from Texas, who also had a problem with Tom King. We found each other and bonded.
I mean, don't fix what isn't broken.
She got me live streaming.
It's to be working for you.
Well, Dune brought Jen and I together. Yes, Dylan.
Tom King, face palm.
Friendo. Birdman hand rub. Yes.
He said he's changing his PSN to boy howdy.
Yes.
Oh, you don't want to bring that comment up?
Yeah, he doesn't
I
want to
did.
talk that on the stream.
I did. You didn't look at the screen, but I did.
Sure.
Because
Irulan can say whatever nonsense, and you're like,
Yeah.
"Oh." But we say boy
I did it
howdy.
again. I brought it back.
Boy
I brought it
howdy.
back. I'm just gonna change mine to Irulan was right. I don't know about what.
Yeah, Magneto was right.
Magneto was right.
Magneto was right.
She kind of is the Magneto of this series.
Oh,
She's a
shut the
villain.
fuck up. No, she's not.
Is Chani? Does that make Chani Xavier?
Oh my god.
next week on the Dune Over.
All right.
Listen.
Okay. We'll do our X-Men fan cast, our X-Men Dune cast.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I resent this.
No, actually, I'd say she's closer to the White Queen.
Who? Chani or Irulan?
Irulan.
Okay.
Yeah, it checks out.
A little bit, because she's like, I want a bad person. Oh, Dylan.
Does that make Chani Storm?
Dylan, you might be my hero here, because you dated a girl named Irulan in high school. Oh, I didn't read that last part till right now. That checks out. In later books, it really checks out.
So, who's Duke Leto?
Cyclops.
Oh
No. Yeah, Duke Leto might.
Nightcrawler.
No.
He's gotta
Don't
be
even
hot.
say Gambit.
No, I wasn't gonna say that.
Okay. All right.
That Gambit would totally be Duncan.
Okay. All right.
Unpopular
that
opinion, I hate Gambit. I think
A lot of
he's the
people hate
worst X-Men. But I also don't like Cyclops either, but whatever.
Nobody likes Cyclops.
Duke Leto can't be Havoc. Ooh. I might need John's comics to come in on.
Yeah.
I think we owe this deliberation a little more time.
Gurney's Wolverine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like 100%.
Wait. Who's Paul? We have to go from the epicenter.
I think
Wouldn't
Paul's Cyclops.
Xavier? Paul cannot be Cyclops.
He goes a little evil. Tries to be good.
Xavier?
Oof.
I'm just thinking of this in like the relation of Cyclops to Xavier.
Well, if we do the Xavier that was from First Class, then it would be like real meta, because it'd be Leto the second being Paul. There's some archetypes. There's archetypes, brother. Like there really is. Like you can equate it out to a lot of shit. Irulan could be Siren.
Okay.
Or Polaris.
My phone is about to die, so I've got to dip out, friend.
Yeah, well, we're over an hour and a half, so that is fair enough. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. This was a really fucking weird episode that I did not know was going to turn against me at a certain point. I still love you guys. A little less than before, but...
Thanks for tuning in.
I love it.
It's like tuning in.
Wow. Thank you for joining us, humans. We shall see you. So we have schedule changes next week too, so we need to work that out. We'll do it in chat later. But Cidnya, if you watch this 3 chapters after these, I know you're caught up because you're angry. So take care. Join us on Saturday for our regular show, and then Sunday for the Sandman show, which I need to read at 6 p.m. And then Thanksgiving, where we'll be drinking, and it will get DAP.
All of the above.
Could be crap. I don't know. Depends how lit I am before it starts.
Drunk is what I'll be. And probably other things.
Dylan, what are you waiting about? Like, are you about to ask if you could be on the Sandman show?
Oh, Sandman show.
Yes, we're doing a book club on Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern on Sandman Volume 1, Preludes and Nocturnes. It will be the 3 of us with our regular co-host Gambit, with That Comic Girl, and John's Comics with Kids. And Nat, the Comic Queen, could not make it because we schedule changed, and I'm a little sad.
It's an absolute madhouse.
And that's all my fault, because I had a huge schedule change, and now my schedule changes kind of whack. So. And
Jen keeps thinking Neil Gaiman's going to be there, which I don't see her doing the work for. I don't even have an intro that she promised to make.
We're going to manifest it. He's coming.
Yeah, thank you. My thing is just put him on the thing, and then he'll show up. And I know he watches the show. So
course.
just Neil, just be on the
And
show.
also,
You're an open invite.
Jennifer's birthday the day after, so
Yeah. My
We'll tweet
birthday is
the link.
Monday. Yeah, exactly. And he's a November baby too, so he has to be here for the show.
So Dylan, tune in, or if you want something else, contact Jennifer during the day because I'm asleep normally.
Yeah. You know where to find me.
Oh yes, we do. In
On
the
the
dark,
internet.
dark web. The dank links of
Boy, howdy.
Boy, howdy.
Bye.